Welcome back to another episode of the Bear Trap on the Boomer Bust channel, Bears podcast by a Bears fan. I'm your host, Terry, and today talking about Roquan Smith and his contract. Real quick, just to reiterate, we're all Bears fans, and our goal should be to see the Bears win. So with that in mind, please discuss respectfully. I wasn't going to talk about Roquan and Holdout. I know a lot of people were really talking about it early on. And I'm like, this happens a lot, pretty much every year, even with the new rookie slot-in scale, contracts, they can be a process. And so I'm not going to trip about it. And then, like most people, I would say we were like, let's just wait. And if it really starts to prolong, then it might be an issue. Now, I'm not here to say it's an issue, but I am here to discuss because there's a lot of fans that just, frankly don't know what they talking about. And so they're just kind of throwing things around. And so I just want to lay it out for all us fans out here as we get closer and closer to seeing our Bears play this week and then get ready for the start of the season. So anyway, number one, let's start off with what's actually happening with this contracts talk. So the crux of the issue is centered around guaranteed money. This is not about, salary. The rookie scale is already slotted, due to the last time they did the CBA, meaning that, depending on where you are picked, you already have a scale of how much money you can make. And so this isn't about Roquan trying to gain more salary. This is about his guaranteed money. He's not trying to gain more guaranteed money. This is about a clause or language in the contract that basically says that if a player is suspended for breaking a rule or whatever and missing games, or basically if you miss game time due to suspension, then the Bears have a right to kind of reclaim some of your guaranteed money. So, of course, as a agent, that's not something that you want to give the team. And so Roquan's side is basically saying we want language protecting the money. Like, we can work some now, do some, but we don't want to give up guaranteed money. It's called guaranteed for a reason. That's the part of the contract. That's the risk the team absorbs. You give that guaranteed money in hopes that, they can play out the rest of the contract. And so that makes sense. Of course, you want to make your money. But the Bears side is, hey, we've been doing this for years. This is our contract. And as an organization, we don't we've never made this exception for players, and we aren't going to make that exception. This is the way we do business. Now, the problem comes with this new rule, the helmet to helmet contact, which basically in the past it used to be helmet to helmet. So if you made helmet to helmet contact, you're suspended. Danny Trevathan last year, Devontae Adams, whatever. Now they tweaked it a little bit, basically saying if you lower your head at all and hit somebody with your head, you're suspended, kicked out of the game, all that. Now, I'm fine with the rule. I was fine when they passed it because you shouldn't be hitting anybody with your helmet. That's offense or defense. So it really is to protect players, not the players getting hit, but the players doing the hits. So I'm okay with that. That's fine. However, the players seem to feel like this might cause an increase in suspensions. And that's a whole nother topic. I don't think that's quite true. But the point is, now that people are afraid of more suspensions, the agents are like, wait a minute, okay, let's change the way these contracts are. Because if the Bears have been doing contracts with a lot of agents, a lot of agencies, I'm sure they know that's what the Bears do. And so this wasn't a surprise. This was more of, okay, now things have changed. And so we got to change this up a little bit for my client who's a first round pick. So, that's kind of the Bears side, or that's, the Bears side. And it's really like, I don't want to set a precedent. So again, this isn't about Roquan as a player. This isn't about the Bears being cheap or anything. This is about precedence. This is not about Roquan. This is about going forward. If we do this for you, then that's going to open up the Pandora's box going forward, where players were going to want exceptions. And so they don't feel like they want to do that. This is the way they do their contracts. That's the way they want to continue to do their contracts. And if we change it for you, then the next rookie might want it, or the next superstar might want it. And we're not prepared to do that. So this isn't about Roquan. This is about a whole precedence. And it's the Bears, but it's kind of bigger, because as this rule comes in, and I don't think the rule is going to be that much of a big deal, but as people are afraid of it, you're going to see players want that protection. And so this could set a precedence for more than the Bears. But we've seen other teams, the Bills, the Jets, the Rams, a lot of the teams who have tweaked contract language in order to accommodate people over this new rule. So again, I want to let you know it is a Bears thing. Like, it's not an NFL thing. They don't have to have that in the contract. That's just the way the Bears want to do it, because that's how they always done it. And so the Bears want to run their operation a certain way. And it's not something we haven't seen with anything. It could be contracts. It could be uniforms. It could be, wearing suit and tie to games. I forgot. Was the Yankees have like no facial hair rule or something like that with baseball? Like, teams can do those things as an organization. This is an NFL thing. So that's what this is. Understand, this is about setting the precedence for their contracts in the midst of this new rule. This isn't about Roquan being selfish or Roquan being lazy. This isn't about the Bears being negligent. This is just about precedence. It's business. And I'm frankly okay with that, because contracts are very detailed. I know a lot of people, that's such a small detail or nitpick. No, when it comes to contracts, there are no nitpicks. Language is very, very important. Okay, so that's what we're dealing with. So number 2, we're talking about how does this affect Roquan realistically? And this is where I'm going to differ, because a lot of fans are going crazy. And the honest truth is, it doesn't affect him that much as a long-term player. Now, your ability to perform as a rookie might be affected, but 10 years from now, 5 years from now, 2 years from now, if Roquan is good, great, bad, horrible, whatever, nobody's gonna be like, man, you know what it was? It was that holdout his rookie year. No, that's not going to change his projection. And so, I mean, you could argue like through a bunch of different circumstances it could change his projection. But as far as who he's going to be as a long-term player, this isn't going to derail that. And so, as a rookie, yes, that could derail, because he has a lot to learn and a big role to fill coming in. So yes, early on, of course, like anybody else, is going to set you back because you aren't there. Now, does that mean him not being in camp, him not being in the Hall of Fame game, or him missing some preseason games? Does that mean he's an automatic bust? No, that's silly talk. Like, people, be realistic. Like, him missing this is affecting the here and now. It's not going to affect what he becomes. And so I'm not going to play the what if game like, well, what if he sucked and then sucked this year and then that lost confidence and he spirals down and he gets overweight, and we're not going to play that game. We're talking about like realistically in the here and now how that's going to play out, and that's not going to affect him long term. So is this life or death? No. Would you like him to be in camp? Of course. Would you like him in these in-game situations? Of course. But this isn't the end-all be-all. Like, he's going to play eventually. I personally don't think, well, we'll get to that later as far as what I think will happen, but I don't really think that any player especially Roquan, is sitting there like, hey, I'm willing to die on the hill for this. I don't think that at all, because history has told us that players cave 9 times out of 10 or whatever. That's a phrase, but I don't know the actual statistics, but players tend to cave and not the team. So that's just how the league power structure is. And so I don't think he's going down this hill. I think he'll eventually get in. And yeah, so my thing is, fans, I'm not talking, well, no media listens to me, but if you are listening, but fans definitely listen. If he doesn't play well early, or if he gets hurt, or if he doesn't look crisp or whatever, please don't, it's the holdout. See, if the Bears if he just would have been in camp, he wouldn't have got hurt. Please don't do that crap. Please don't do that. Like, injuries are so complex. People act like it's black and white, like everything else. Oh, you did this, now it hurt. No. There's 1,000 different things that contribute to an injury. So please don't be those people. Because the media is going to do it, even though they know it's silly, they're going to do it because they need headlines, they need something to talk about. So if something happens, or if it doesn't work out the way we think, please don't become those people. Oh, it was training camp. See, he should have been in training camp. That's why he got hurt. That's why he can't play good. That's why he don't know the plays. Because the reality is, he still has the playbook. He got it when he got there. He still can be in contact with his coaches. Like, not showing up to work is a sign that, I want my contract done, of course. But he could be in contact with his coaches or his teammates. And it's not the same thing as practice, but trust me, practice ain't the same thing as live games. And preseason ain't the same as the regular season. So, don't tell me, yes. Again, would you want the extra practice? Yes. But the fact that he's not at practice or in the preseason game is not going to somehow make him stupid or make him football illiterate. If he is the football player you drafted, then he'll be able to pick it up. So if he doesn't pick it up, that could be a question of a bunch of different things. It's not simply because he wasn't in training camp. Because if you're in training camp, it's still the same defense. So obviously there's a disconnect more with the system than it is him having time to deal with it. Now, if he's a quarterback, I would agree with you, but that's not the same thing. The verbiage and the amount is not going to be the same. So anyway, all I'm saying is be careful with that, because you look at Joey Bosa, which a lot of people want to talk about. And honestly, Joey had the skill set and he went to the right fit, which I said before he got drafted and all that, like, going to this certain type of fit will unlock his potential, and it turned out to be true. Everybody was shocked. He went to a 3-4, even though I called it, but whatever. So they put him there, and they unlocked his skill set. Even he missed 4 regular season games. So he didn't play until the middle of in the beginning of the season. And so he still got down. So if Roquan came out and missed training camp and then was rookie of the year or defensive player of the year, would you sit there and be like, see, everybody should hold out of training camp? That's how good you play when you hold out of training camp. No, because that's stupid. So if he goes out and played bad, turn around and said, oh, well, see, now holding out of training camp is why you suck. That'd be just as dumb. And so you gotta be able to differentiate those two. So anyway, last thing I'll say is what should happen going forward. And for me, it's pretty simple. The Bears need to acquiesce to him. And it's not a player versus the man thing, because I'm loyal to the Bears, not the players. But it's just simple business. The Bears like to point out, hey, look, we didn't take any guaranteed money from Trevathan, even though he got suspended for the helmet thing. And so, the contract allows them to take the money. Doesn't mean they have to. And so they say, hey, we're fair people. You got to trust us. And I understand that. But my thing is, contracts are very specific for a reason. And contracts, as I said earlier, the language is very important. All the way down to the details, very important. And so there is no boilerplate contract in the league. Not with the Bears, not with anybody. You might have certain things you want to start off with and parameters, but there's a whole bunch of things. Like, we know you could have clauses in there, bonus. Oh, you get $20,000 extra if you come in training camp weighing 245 pounds or less. Like, that's very specific to a specific player, or different incentives and different things here and there. And so contracts are supposed to be specific. So to say we don't want to make this exclusion for you, because then we got to make it for everyone, I don't necessarily agree with that. Now, I understand the precedence thing. Oh, they did it, so I should be able to do it. I get that that can snowball on you. But if a player isn't talented enough, they can't wield that power. So for me, it's like, if you have a top-notch player that's asking for that, then why not make it specific for them? Now, I'm not saying Roquan's a top player. He is a top pick. But I'm just saying, if we do this for Roquan, and let's say Trubisky on his next contract, and he's good. Trubisky's our future guy. He says, hey, look, I don't want that in my contract. Then do it. Because guess what? If, I don't know, let's say Chase Daniels is still on the team and he says, hey, I don't want that on my contract, then you be like, then leave. He has no bargaining power. So the players that have bargaining power are the great ones, or the really good ones. And so, fine, make it specific for them. And then if somebody says, hey, well, I want this too because he got it. Well, you ain't him. Become as good as him, and then we can talk. So that, to me, number one, is the nature of contracts are specific. Now, again, you have those boilerplate things that you want in every contract, but this isn't one to die on the hill for. Just like I said, Roquan shouldn't die on the hill for this. Neither should the Bears. I mean, what? Like, it's not about money, because the player loses money when they're suspended. They miss their game check. So it's not about, oh, we want to add salt to the wound. It's just kind of, well, okay, your service is not, it's just a deterrent. And so it's not, I don't think players are going to be on the field thinking about that. Like, maybe if they want to do something stupid, it's like, okay, I don't want to lose some money, so I'm not going to get in this fight, or I'm not going to punch this dude. But they're not playing about to hit somebody and be like, oh, wait a minute, this might be a illegal hit, so I might, like, no. I don't think that's really going to change an athlete. And so, really, what are you accomplishing with this clause? Like, there's a lot of, like, honestly, if the Bears said every contract has that a player has to wear some type of Bears headwear to a game, visor, hat, beanie, whatever, and that was in everybody's contract, I would agree with that more than I agree with this, because at least you can say that in the name of, this is our organization, you play for us. We want you representing us, we want you representing our fans, our city, you wear our colors, team unity, whatever. You could get away with, I would understand that. That would serve a purpose to somebody, but this doesn't serve much of a purpose to anybody. And so I would say the Bears need to acquiesce to that and just, let it go. It's you could argue either side, but I would just say it's easier for the Bears to just let it go. And again, the Bears got bad press from the last few years. And right now people are super hyped and geeked, even though they didn't see anything. Call me a, wait and see type of guy. But people are geeked, whatever. Fans are geeked. And so you want to keep that momentum going. You don't want it, because even if you're right or wrong, people are going to spin it negatively. Fans, media, people are going to be like, oh, it's the Bears doing this again. Bears don't know how to do nothing right. That's all they're going to say. And so just do the good PR move. Get them signed, get them in, let the storyline die, because guarantee you, nothing besides an injury is going to happen in the off season or in the preseason that is going to be that exciting. And so people are going to be looking for storylines. And this is just low hanging fruit if he's not there all off season. So to me, it's just like, get him in camp and let's just be done with it. And if you listen to the radio, the media guys, they said themselves, we don't want to talk. We tired of this, but this is the storyline right now. And so, if it's me, I'm like, Bears, you should take that step, go forward. How many players are really going to go crazy over it? And if they do, it's about bargaining power like anything else. A third string running back can't demand $30 million a year. So it's about bargaining power. And if a player has bargaining power, then so what? Give him the things. But that's such the difference between the NBA and the NFL, where the NBA players could get almost any crazy stipulation they want. But in the NFL, like, stars don't have much bargaining power. But yeah, to me, I would say the Bears going forward, just take care of it. But honestly, this is becoming a ego contest between, not Roquan, between the agency and between the organization, where it's like, we don't want to be like, Ryan Pace doesn't want to tell his boss or, the McCaskies that I lost that battle. And the agency doesn't want to tell their clients we lost that battle. But I would say, I think it can go on for a while. But in the end, I think it's going to be Roquan that blinks, because at a point, the player's like, look, I'm not the poster boy. I'm not trying to fight for the rights right now. I'm just trying to get on the field in this, get the negotiation done so I could go play. So that's what I think is going to happen. But anyway, go to the comment section. A lot of people want to talk about Roquan. What do you think about the holdout? All those different things. How do you think it's going to play out? Get the convo started. Share it around. Thumbs up, subscribe, and remember, stay up and bear down.